of the reasons why I ever got involved in this project is because I'm not much of a fan of conspiracy theory. So the whole idea that we had behind WikiLeaks, and which to me was totally compelling and still is that if you manage to pull more facts into the public, by leaked documents, so that we can verify what is actually going on rather than speculate about things, then this will contribute to people understanding what's true. And I have not in the past weeks, or it's actually many months now that this debate about Russian influence or so has been coming up. I have not seen anything that would show me or prove to me, or even be the idea of a proof that there is a direct connection there. Now, I can see that in this in the election campaign, there was, I don't know, it was a bit upside down as you would expect it, and I totally agree that this feels a bit strange. But on the other hand, that's not good enough for me in order to make this type of a claim or to actually give in to this type of a theory. And so for me, this is all not good enough yet.
James Kirchick?
I'm happy to say I don't know, and not knowing is perfectly fine for now, because I rather don't know than believe in something.
Mr. Domscheit-Berg's former colleague at WikiLeaks, a man named Israel Shamir, who I'm sure he's familiar with, is a Russian agent of influence who gave documents to the Belarusian regime, to Mr. Lukashenko. We know that Julian Assange excuse me, let me finish. We know that Julian Assange hosted a show on RT, okay? We know that Julian Assange was instrumental in spiriting Mr. Snowden into Moscow, and that he said that publicly, that it was his idea to get him into Moscow. And we know that Mr. Assange was on the record attacking Hillary Clinton to help Donald Trump win, and that he published information that was stolen by Russians from Democratic Party servers and given to him, presumably, by the Russians. So there's a lot of evidence to indicate that Mr. Assange is I don't think he's being paid. I think Mr. Assange has an ideology. He has a worldview. It's a viciously anti-American, almost nihilistic worldview, and he's perfectly happy being used in this fashion by the Russians. But there's ample evidence to indicate this. It's not a conspiracy theory.
Well, I agree with you on a lot of these points. I don't understand why he would run a talk show on RT. I never understood, and I was very openly critic about the fact that people like Israel Shamir ever were, gotten into this project. And that's not a person I want to work with. And I don't understand why this data was given to the Belarusian government. But on the other hand, as you just said, it's presumably, so this is not good enough for me. I know that there's an anti-American, or let's say America critic view there, and anything that has happened around the election campaign it's perfectly obvious, that the support was for Donald Trump, which I don't understand at all. But I'm not sure if the conclusion or the conclusion we can draw from that is that there is some type of a formal connection. I agree, we have to criticize that people from intelligence agencies, and probably even the Russians, they understand how to use WikiLeaks as a tool. So this is a problem, and that's something we need to discuss, because it becomes a problem, but that doesn't mean that there is some kind of a working connection there.